Coming up on today's Alabama Football Report, 2 players picked up in the transfer portal, mostly during the chaos of all the coaching changes and updates that happened, kind of slid under the radar. A potential offensive tackle target in the portal, and if the coaching staff is finalized, which we felt was the case like 3 different times, maybe now we're finally there. Before we get going, if you are a lifelong Alabama football fan, spam RTR in the comment section. Let's see nothing but RTRs down there on today's video. First up, as producer Chris did break down on a short for you guys, Keon Sabb is transferring to Alabama. That one went pretty quick. Not a long time between, hey, this is a possibility, to, okay, now it is indeed a done deal. And I think Sabb has a real chance to play an instant impact role for the Crimson Tide. That's what we'll focus on more here, the fit for Sabb, since, the news of it already happened. The Alabama depth chart in the secondary is starting to get a little bit better. Sabb, a former top 100 recruit, is a notable addition. He will compete with a variety of players to fill the 2 starting safety spots, 2.5 if you want to count the Malachi Moore Husky star role not being all that different there. Devonta Smith, Tony Mitchell are the veterans with like a couple snaps between them. Outside of Malachi Moore, like Keon Sabb's played like as many snaps as the rest of your secondary for Alabama combined. And he has not played that much. That's how thin you were in proven talent there. Sabb was kind of safety 3 for Michigan this past season. Obviously, there are some ties between the current staff, Courtney Morgan, and Michigan and recruiting, et cetera there. It's a good move. Smart move by Alabama to get some more depth. And, hey, you did add a national championship winning DB, by the way. As weird as it sounds, there aren't many of those on the Bama roster anymore, which used to be there were a ton of them every single season. All right, anyway, this broke originally back on Monday night. Is worth mentioning the spring second semester actually started on February 12th, and it sounds like he's actually been at Bama since then. And kind of the old sneak transfer thing that happens more than maybe we'd realize there. I know some fans are saying, we're just getting backups. Well, yeah, but most players start as backups. He was a redshirt freshman in 2023, and he was playing more than most people, or at least was playing more than most guys on your roster. And he was going to start or at least play a bigger role in 2024, for Michigan. That was the expectation. And 3, and we kind of go 1, 2, 3 there, he's got more experience than most of your defensive backs. There's a very good chance he ends up starting for Alabama in 2024 as we eventually kind of figure out what this rotation looks like and this room looks like. And Kane Womack likes to play 3 safety looks. We can count Malachi Moore in that kind of husky role as part of that. So I do think this is a good pickup for Alabama. And remember, Nick Saban ain't here anymore. It's a different era for Alabama. We have to adjust our expectations accordingly. So prediction time. Will Keon Sabb start next season? Y for yes, N for no. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section right now. More news as Josh, I think it's pronounced Cuevas. That's how I'm going to pronounce it because it kind of sounds fun. This also broke like kind of super late Monday night when normal people with jobs were asleep. A tight end addition for Alabama. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. Again, he is also already enrolled, which, again, makes me think this kind of happened as well before February 12th, or maybe it was already in the works and they were working something out with the academic side, whatever. Was mostly a special teams player for the Huskies in 2023. He originally transferred from Cal Poly. So this is the old 2-time transfer in his 3rd stop in as many years. Cal Poly to Washington to now Alabama. What's noteworthy is he was pretty darn productive at Cal Poly. Obviously, a much different level of competition you're going to face for Alabama here. 57 catches, 622 yards, 10.5 yards per catch, 6 TDs. The special teams is also valuable. You need those guys on your roster in both college football and, of course, the NFL. So this depth chart getting a little bit deeper at tight end. With one asterisk that we will come back to on a future video. Hint, hint, make sure you are subscribed. Caleb Odom's bio, he changed it to wide receiver. Maybe he's going to play the big slot role. We'll see what happens there. We'll as we get closer to spring ball, we're going to break down kind of more in depth all these positions because there's a ton of change for Alabama. Everything's different this year, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out. Back to tight end one. Let's call it a snap count perspective because, catches, run blocking snaps can all kind of lead to different answers there. But if snap counts only, who will be tight end one for Alabama next season? Sound off in the comments. While you're down there, click the link for prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's daily fantasy made easy. You're picking 2 to 6 player stat projections, more than, less than, and watching those winnings come in. I always advise the flex play. Yeah, you're not going to get as much back, but as much in your winnings, but you got a better chance coming out on top. And the flex plays save both myself and producer Chris's bacon a bunch so far this season. With that in mind, we're back again with Chris's Alabama basketball slate. Mark Sears, more than 22.5 points. That's been a hit each time so far, I believe. He's been really good this year. Grant Nelson, more than a half three-pointer. Just need the one. It's always fun. It happens occasionally, but when you pick these, it hits on the first drive. Always fun. And Latrell Wrightsell Jr., less than 11.5 points. Flex play, in play on that front. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. We've got another potential portal target on the offensive line. This valuable. Marcus Bryant, the SMU left tackle, who's played a bunch, almost 2,000 snaps for the Mustangs as a portal option here. Makes sense to me. I feel good. In fact, I might say I feel great about the interior of your offensive line. Booker, Brailsford, Roberts. If only Roberts was, a B name, he'd be really smooth there. It's the tackles that I go, Elijah Pritchett wasn't a starter last year, gets a chance now this season. Maybe on the right side, maybe on the left side. Who knows? Wilkin Formby, Miles McVay, Bertrand, Nikhil Bertrand is the transfer from A&M. Boy, you want a better starter there, don't you? Because I think you're a little bit anxious about that one. Marcus Bryant, meanwhile, 1 sack allowed, 2 hits, 18 hurries. Not the best run blocking results, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I think you can, with the way your guards can run block, I think you'd feel pretty good about that angle there. The timing of this is significant. You're probably not going to get him enrolled until the summer semester. You're kind of in that spring window as it is. This would probably be, grad transfer option. School's got to come first still. We can, whether we want to admit it or not, we can bend and tweak and adjust the rules within reason, but it does require still a little bit of following the rules there. Bryant was all AAC first team in 2023. That's good. You don't want more backups. Here's a starter for you. Here's a guy that would give you stability and veteran starting at talent. Kind of reminds me a bit of the whole Tyler Smith thing. Remember that a couple years ago where Bama tried to get him to come and not go pro from Tulsa? He goes pro as a first-round pick. Similar level of competition there as well. So what do you think? Should Bama pursue Marcus Bryant in the portal? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Sound off in the comments section. There is a new linebackers coach. I remember when we did here's the coaching staff breakdown, and then it changed again like 4 hours later. William Inge ends up going to Tennessee, does not stick around with Alabama, was here for a month too. Christian Robinson is the next linebackers coach here, and this got some praise from people like Dan Mullen saying it was a great hire. He's been a mostly SEC coach over the years. Most recently was at Baylor in 2023, Auburn for a year, Florida for several years. Mississippi State was a GA along with Ole Miss and Georgia. That's about the best grad assistant coaching tree you could have, outside of including Alabama there. But you spent, 5 years as an SEC GA. Normally means you end up having long-term success in college football. Also played at Georgia, by the way, for several seasons. In other officially announced news, Kane Womack is the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Robin's going to do some inside linebacker stuff too. Nick Sheridan gets the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coaching title. Jamarcus Shepard gets the assistant head coach, co-offensive coordinator, and wide receivers coach role. It's like 3 or 4 associate head coaches. There's like 5 coordinators. A lot of titles. New coaching staff. I am excited to see how it all plays out here on the Alabama Football Report. So make sure you guys are subbed for more free videos. We'll have you covered all off-season long, even during the boring periods and the dead periods of recruiting.